Why are you so tired, Ben?
I don't know.
I think we're all tired.
Yeah. My Fitbit told me
Your Fitbit told you you're tired?
yeah.
My Fitbit told me I was tired.
How's that thing working?
It's working okay. It just keeps track of how many steps I take. And
Every step you take,
yeah, pretty much. And then
I'll be watching.
it counts my sleep hours and how many times I'm restless during the night. Yeah.
So have you been getting good night's sleep? Or?
No. The last 2 nights I've been getting exactly 5 hours and 55 minutes. Twice in a row.
Almost 6 hours.
There's a pattern there.
Maybe you should go to bed 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
What else do you learn from the Fitbit about your sleep patterns?
Just restlessness and how many times I wake up during the night.
Does it record your dreams too?
That'd be cool. Because I don't even know what I dream. Yeah, what if we could save our dreams?
That'd be really interesting.
I don't know if I'd want to see that.
Well, it's like a lot of dreams are really particular because you experience them in a first-person view as well.
Well, not always.
So it'd be hard. You'd be, if you wanted to see someone else's dream, you might be experiencing it as that person.
Oh, you're talking
did.
about seeing someone else's dream. Yeah, well, that's probably how you'd see it if they saw their dream in first person. But if they were dreaming in third person...
What if there was spectator mode, and so you could
that would
go around and
you could mess
like
it
Forge. You could like make your own world.
you're like, man, Ben's dream is really boring, so I'm going to change this.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
So Christmas was
Christmas was good.
last week. How was it?
It's pretty good.
Jesse got everything you ever wanted in the world.
I got
Dave told
literally
me,
everything
Dave told me
I
you
asked
asked for
for.
like boring, pointless stuff. He was like Jesse got everything he asked for, and none of it was that great. It was like piddly stuff.
Next year,
Hey.
sure to ask for better things.
Yeah.
My Christmas does not involve you in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's not
I
actually
wanted
what
the
I said,
things
so.
that made me happy,
So, you're upset
so
at
I
the
got
wrong you're upset at the
everything that I
wrong person.
wanted.
And I'm out. Job is done.
Yeah, I
Took
didn't.
a live grenade into the podcast.
How was everyone's Christmas?
It's pretty good.
It's terrible.
Filled with children.
Filled with children.
Ben and Michael and I got to spend our Christmas together.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun because we spent the first half of the day,
It's romantic.
having breakfast and opening presents and stuff.
Starstruck.
Yeah.
What time did you guys Christmas start?
Well,
Way earlier than Dave and I are ever used to.
It's burped in my face. It smells so bad. Sorry, anyway.
What time was that, though?
We started at like 7:45.
Too early. Saw it.
That's
I
not too early.
Well, we're used to like
1.
opening presents starting at like 1.
Okay, walk us through a regular Christmas morning in the Big household.
In the big household?
Dave always tells me that you're so
Before
giddy,
or after children?
so excited in the
giddy.
morning,
Yeah.
like you can't help it.
He
You're
says
just
you,
like a
run
little
up
kid,
and,
like
there is a
ripping open
we
your
have
presents.
there is a home video of me when I was like 4 on Christmas morning. I was in footy pajamas,
Jesse, I want to see
and
what
my
you look
parents,
Pretty much like that.
my parents, like my dad ran into my room with the video camera and was like, "Jesse, it's Christmas, and you just like, you see the look on my face, like my eyes pop open, and like I try to like tear the sheets off, and I'm wearing footy pajamas. And we had hardwood floors, so I was running. I was running so fast, but I couldn't get any traction.
That's funny.
So I was basically just like running in place because I was so excited. My phone just went flying! Yay! There's actually video evidence of that, but
I want to see it, Jesse.
okay, fine.
Right now, I'll pull it up on your
Let's.
phone.
I don't. It's not on my phone.
on the watch box.
Yeah.
It's on the watch box. But a typical Christmas morning before my nieces and nephew were introduced into the family, we would all get up at like 6:30 in the morning, and then, hey, he asked.
No,
Deal with it.
I want to
Something
listen. This is very important.
We
I'm
would
gonna cut this right.
we all woke up at 6:30 in the morning, and we had to wait for our parents to like function and like make coffee and cook breakfast and stuff.
Dad had to go dump a grump.
Maybe, probably. And then we would open gifts at about 7:30.
That's way too early. That's so early.
And our Christmas would be done by like 8:45 or 9.
See, my perfect Christmas involves sleeping in and enjoying sleep for a little bit.
Yeah. Were you like that even when you were younger?
Even when we were, my dad and mom would always make Dave and I like stay in our room a little extra longer, and I think that kind of, at least for me, like carried over into, I can wait. Yeah. I can wait. No, I just want to sleep.
Because I'm gonna have to wait anyway, kind of thing.
Yeah, when we were younger, probably like 8 or less. I mean, we were always excited, but it wasn't something that we got up extremely early for.
Man, you should have been a part of my family.
I mean, we would wake up and my parents would like already be awake, or they would come in and wake us up in the morning. But we never had an incident like Jesse's where he, at 5 in the morning, opens all the presents.
Butt crack of way too early.
Opens all his presents while everyone else is still asleep.
No, that's the horrible thing about like we all had to wait for everybody.
But didn't you? I thought you had a Christmas where one morning you woke up and opened your presents before everyone else was awake.
It's always been that way. Yeah. Did you guys ever do the Santa thing?
What Santa thing?
Did you guys believe in Santa when you were younger?
No,
my
not
parents. Really. I think they more kind of joked about it. They never enforced there's a Santa rule. So I don't ever remember really believing in Santa.
Well, one thing they did is so all of our presents would have like our name on it, say from Dad or from Mom. Mm-hmm. But usually we'd have one gift that would say from Santa, and it was usually like a big gift. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't something that my parents would say like, "Yes, Santa brought you this gift."
It's
it was
kind
of
of Santa.
Yeah, it was kind of more tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But it was never something that like we really believed in Santa, and there was a moment of oh no, we learned that he doesn't exist. It's kind of like there's this Santa, but he's not really real. Like we met children though when we lived in Hawaii. We knew this kid. Robert Valek, his sister, and he 100% believed in Santa. At this point, he was probably 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah,
and he 100% believed in Santa. And
How long does parents keep that up for him?
I don't know, but their parents kept saying, "No, there's a Santa. There's really a Santa."
And
I would tell him and be like, "That's ridiculous. There's no way. Like, are you crazy?"
Santa's not real.
I was the same age as him, but so at that point I had long it was long that it was not something that I had any belief toward. But
it's so funny.
He was saying that no, well, there's just the night is so long, and because of the rotation of the Earth, if you start at one side, if he starts at one side of the world and flies one way, it's like he gets more time. So he gets even more time to deliver presents. So it's absolutely
feasible?
Possible and completely feasible. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't talk with him very much.
Totally believed in this, and he was this 8 or 9 year old boy who I couldn't stand.
I'd believe it.
Man, I don't even know what you do with that kind of thing.
This guy was like
Dave's best friend.
He was really this annoying kid I knew. One time he did a brownie, like a brownie stand on the side of the road. Someone started selling lemonade. He sold brownies. And so I was hanging out with him that day, or my parents made me hang out with him that day or something. So I was like, oh, okay, well, can I do the brownie stand with you? And he was like, yeah, sure, but you have to pay for half of the supplies. So for brownie mix and for lemonade. And I didn't want to do it for money. I just wanted to do it to have fun and experience just working at the stand, because he would set it up down by the water, because we lived on the...
Did he like pay you? Or?
Did you live
So
on the
he
beach?
comes over to my house and he goes through my coin collection and picks out like wheat pennies and coins that I had collected, because he collected coins. He picked from them an amount that was equal to half of the money. So not only was he wasn't taking just money, he was taking collected coins that I like kind of liked and cherished. And he took a certain amount, and I don't know why I went along with it.
That's funny.
But we did the stand, and we did it that day, and he never gave me half of the money from the brownie stand. And I was always really mad about that. And he had a paper route at one point, and
did you steal his paper route?
No, he had a
Half
paper
of
route,
his
and
paper
so
route?
when he would
You
go
have
on
this paper route, but you got to pay for half the
when he would go on vacation, I would do the paper route for him. And I remember the first time I did the paper route, I asked how much money it was, and he said it was 3 cents a paper.
Per paper?
Per paper. And I was like, oh, okay. I had no reference because I was just this little kid who was filling in to do this paper route.
Yeah.
So I did the paper route, so then when he got back or whatever, he paid me 3 cents per paper, and there was like 200 or 150 papers I delivered or something. And then later, I got a paper route, and the starting rate for the paper route was 8 cents a paper. So he kept over half the amount of the route.
That guy's not very
No.
nice. What the heck?
And
I don't think I ever got duped like that.
Yeah.
when I was younger.
because usually when you fill in for someone,
Yeah.
you get 100% of the money
Yeah.
because they do literally nothing.
Yeah.
But the problem is, he's probably the kind of guy that will grow up to be an investment banker who screws people over out of money for a living.
What was
because
his name? We gotta look out for him.
Robert Valek.
Robert Valek. I'll never forget.
His parents were crazy too.
Well, he's like,
I bet if your
he was
dad
like this kind of ugly, like square-headed kid. He went to Germany
He
for
had
a while.
rat tail.
Yeah, he had a rat tail.
My brother had a
and his
rat
parents
tail.
were stationed in Germany for a while, so they all spoke German. So the mom would always talk to them in German. And so, like, that's one thing too. Where it's like, you know, when you're around people that they speak in a language you can't understand, it's kind of frustrating. So they'd always speak. Whenever she would yell at the kids or say something to the kids, she would speak to them in German because they learned German when they were in Germany.
Yeah. And your dad like never had any conversation with their parents at all?
About Santa? Or-
No, just about anything.
No, because I didn't learn the paper route thing till after I had my own paper route, and that wasn't something I never told my parents about. I mean, I was a pretty easygoing kid. I didn't like to snitch on kids or stuff like that. And
the best part of
and
being-
one thing I really tried to find when I lived in Hawaii was I was really trying to find like meaningful friendships in people, because I had a hard time making friends.
When you were 8?
Mm-hmm. I had a hard time making friends when I was that age living in Hawaii, even though our whole neighborhood had tons of kids. So he was also a homeschooled kid, and
Skip the friends, Dave. They're useless.
Well, that's
Gee, thanks.
sort of what I took away from living in Hawaii. That's a big reason I didn't like living in Hawaii, was because I didn't feel like I had good friendships there, and it made me not have good memories of living in Hawaii and the experiences I had there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there were other things that I had good memories about and things, but when I think of Hawaii, the first thing I jump to is the other kids I knew who weren't nice to me and who were mean. So
Yeah. I suppose that's why you like Pokemon so much, right?
well, I liked Pokemon before I moved to Hawaii.
What about you, Ben? How'd your family do Christmas back in the day?
Back in the day? I don't know, Jesse. I was always very poor. My family was. Well, we used to go to my grandma's. Then my mom ended that.
Did she have some sort of issue? Was there a fight or something?
Just some family, she felt like she was getting picked on and stuff like that. It's my family, and so.
Was your grandma only paying her 3 cents a ginger snap when she made them?
Yeah, so.
She stole some rare coins.
Yeah. Stole my mom's rare coins.
So what did you do after that?
We just pretty much, me and my sister would stay with my mom, pretty much.
You guys have any like family traditions or anything like that?
No. Yeah, I had a pretty crappy Christmas all my life. Hope you enjoy your good Christmases for how many years?
24 now.
Yeah, each year, good Christmas.
So...
You know, I've had Christmases where I didn't get anything, Jesse. So
I wasn't trying to.
Yeah, no, you made your point.
I wasn't trying to like make it bad. I was
no,
trying
I'm kidding.
to like.
I'm not mad about it. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's just how you grew
Make
up.
me feel terrible.
So you're a selfish brat, Jesse. And all right, okay.
No. That's about it. Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite Christmas, Jesse?
A favorite Christmas?
Yeah.
Probably the Christmas that I ruined Santa for everybody. that was
pooped on Santa's lap or something.
No,
you ruined him.
Who's next? Oh.
He's ruined.
It's a really long story, but
tell it, Jesse.
We're
gonna go this out right.
When I just moved here, we had just moved into our house, and it was Christmas, around Christmas time. My mom had sent me upstairs with a pair of her shoes to put them away in her closet, and so I did that, and I went into her closet to drop her shoes off, and I saw a bunch of unwrapped gifts and stuff, and like there was a skateboard there was, just boxes of stuff, and on the gifts, they said, to Jesse or to Brandon from Santa, and so I started looking at all this stuff and just I spent like half an hour upstairs apparently going through stuff because my mom said
you blacked out.
My mom said I came downstairs like 30 minutes later with just the biggest smile on my face, and she immediately she thought, oh crap, the Christmas gifts are up there. And so they after they took me into the living room, and they my parents both talked to me, and they're like, okay, what'd you see? I said, well, I saw a bunch of gifts that had Brandon and Justin and my name on them, and they all said from Santa, and I saw some unwrapped gifts and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, there's no Santa. And then so from that year on, that was the last year we had Santa gifts. So from that year on, we've had color-coded gifts, number-coded gifts, opposite named gifts, and
opposite named.
What's the opposite?
So how come Santa gave all you the gifts but didn't give any to Ben?
Yeah, over there, Jesse.
Santa's a jerk.
What about those kids in Africa?
Yeah.
I don't think they get anything.
Opposite named gifts, meaning my gifts had Brandon's name on them, and Justin's.
So everything
gifts.
it said Brandon actually went to Justin. Everything it said Gina actually went to Jesse. Everything it said Jesse actually went to John and stuff.
They were just alternated names and stuff.
Because little punk kids like Jesse, Brandon, and Justin are probably like.
We always shook gifts. I was terrible at it though. I could never.
Something that's really breakable.
A snow globe.
Yeah, snow globe. You get a bunch of snow globes for Christmas. Shake all your presents.
Were you here yesterday, Michael, when Carter broke?
He broke my snow globe.
He got over
what?
He got over in 3 minutes. Then he's rolling on the ground.
What'd you guys get for Christmas? I just got a bunch of.
One thing I got that I've wanted for a long time, for probably 6 or 7 years.
A heart, a brain, the nerve.
I wanted some courage.
Yeah, that's what you're awesome.
No, I wanted the Beatles complete album set because I just had
their entire discography.
Yeah, their actual albums that they released.
Like vinyl?
Well, no, in CDs,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's their complete discography from their original studio albums. Because all I've had are anthology sets and stuff, and the first thing I got the Led Zeppelin complete set like 2 years ago or so, and it's really nice to listen to an album the way an artist intends you to listen to it, because I think that's I feel like that's a lost art, or not a lost art, but it's a little bit diminished now.
Just an order
with
of
how,
songs.
like-
People
Yeah.
just put whatever.
It
out
feels very flippant. I mean, and
there. Definitely.
albums also a lot more. It's just something to have your singles on.
Yeah.
Albums in the past, what they were is you pulled singles from your albums, and that's what you would use as your, as kind of your main songs.
Yeah.
But also you would just have like special songs, and the Beatles had a lot of those. They had a lot of hit songs that weren't on albums; they were singles that they released. So you could buy the single. I don't know if it was an LP or an EP, but there's one song on one side and one song on the other.
Long play and extended.
Yeah, but
that is what it stands for.
when I had the Led Zeppelin one, it was nice to listen through the album to see how they get from the beginning to the end of an album, and you kind of see the progression of what they intend you to listen to things in a certain order. That's one reason lately I haven't liked listening to anything on shuffle, because I really like to get that experience of this is the way the artist wanted you to hear the album in this way. It'd be like trying to watch, a television series out of order. I mean, like you're not going to watch season 3 first of Seinfeld and then go back to season 2, even though it doesn't really matter which season you watch first. I mean, there's still an order that you watch it to, and so I really liked that with Led Zeppelin, and it kind of some of the songs I like, you kind of get better context about which song is before it and which song is after it, and where they are in that time of their life. Because you can look when the album came out and what they were doing and what their kind of what they were focused on at the time. The Beatles in particular, I mean, they're a band that changed drastically in the amount of time that they released albums. I mean, I think their first one was 63, it was 62 or 63, and they only did albums for 8 years. And you can see the change from their first album, which was Please Please Me, all the way to the last one, Let It Be. They had 13 studio albums. And the style is so different. And I feel like you don't see that with a lot of artists these days. Like you think of, I don't know, like someone like a Garth Brooks or something, he doesn't sound any different from his first album. I mean, like there's going to be a little bit of a change, but style-wise and lyrically, he might be a little bit different. But even someone like him, he doesn't. I don't think he writes a lot of his own music.
I wonder if the Beatles felt a pressure to always renew themselves.
I don't think so. I think it was kind of the other way around. They wanted to like expand and explore, and that's what made
and
their
people wanted
music
them to stay the same.
No. But I think that's what fueled their change. I don't think they felt a pressure to change. I mean, their first 4 albums are all very like 50s, 60s rock, and then you come into their later albums where you hit like Rubber Soul and Revolver, and you start getting, okay, this is a lot different. And then each album, it becomes subsequently so much different. And you like, I can't think of an artist that feels so different and kind of stylistically where they really branched out. I mean,
well, now that they're available on YouTube, but they were like blocked on YouTube for some reason for a long time.
I think that's probably the copyright, or
I think something
the
with
rights to the music or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll be able to listen to them though.
But I didn't listen to them much when I grew up. I didn't really listen to much music when I was little, up until about 8 years old. Pretty much all I listened to was Weird Al stuff, and that was really the only time I heard it was when my dad played it. But anything I heard, my mom on the radio, she would listen to talk radio, so that's what I heard. I heard talk radio. But whenever my dad was home, he'd play music. He'd play some country music and stuff. And then at about 8 is when I actually started listening to music myself. And I started listening to country music because that's kind of what my dad listened to. So I was like, okay, that's what I'll listen to. And so for a long time, that's almost all I listened to. I had Weird Al also, but like country music.
Weird Al and country.
Yeah, Weird Al and country. Kind of a weird mix. And then it wasn't until I was probably like 16 that I started listening to other kinds of music. And the next thing I went to was classic rock and roll. And that's when I was introduced to the Beatles. And when I started listening to the Beatles, I was like, wow, this is something so different. And I had a little bit of context for the Beatles of just they're a band that is really famous that people really like. But I couldn't really name much of their songs or had much much understanding of them or much context. But when I started listening to the CDs my dad had, because it turns out my dad had this humongous backlog of rock CDs. And I was like, well, he has these CDs. I'll listen to them and see what they're like. Because I had an iPod at that point, because I had won one for free from
Where did you win that?
From my orthodontist. It was like one of those raffles, you put in. And mine was the name that they drew, so I got a free iPod. Because there's no way my parents ever would have bought one for me, or I would have had the money to buy one.
Is that still... Do you still have that one?
Nope. I sold it to my dad. My dad had it, and my brother used it a bunch, and then he left it in his locker at school, and someone stole it. So that was my first iPod. But when I listened to the Beatles, I was like 15 or 16, and I was like, this is amazing. And it was just this totally new experience for music that I had never kind of, experienced before, and it was just so cool. I felt like me with music for listening. I had played a lot of music growing up on piano and violin, but for me listening to music, it wasn't something I consumed a lot of until I was a little bit older. I feel like a lot of kids, they kind of get into music when they're younger, and that's kind of was something that drives their development and it turns them into someone who they become later in life. So, I mean, like someone like Ben, what was it like for you listening to music when you were younger, and what did that help develop you into someone who has interest in music and playing music and stuff like that?
Let me think. I guess when I started finding interest in music, it was probably around actually freshman year of high school.
It's like 14 or something.
It's kind of weird, huh? Think about it, I guess, for me. And that's when I just started trying to find my own type of music that I liked, which I actually started, I liked rap. I listened to rap.
Oh, yeah. Hip-hop's one of my favorite.
No, I listened to a lot of Eminem. Because I was an angry child, so... Eminem fit the bill.
We didn't have those presents, so you had to channel your anger somewhere, right?
Yeah. So
he's cleaning out his closet.
And then I started just kind of going. I started liking more acoustic stuff, I guess, after that, and so it's just kind of weird. I guess that's after I started coming to youth group more. So, what was the original question?
No, it's just like what made you interested in music, or what kind of changed you? Because I would say, I'd say you're into a lot of progressive rock. That's what you're familiar with, and that's what you.
I don't know. I guess it was just I always listen. Okay, I remember. There's an earlier memory because I always used to ride around in the car with my mom and my sister, and they'd have the radio on. It'd be like the '90s alternative stuff, and and for some reason that stuff just always hit me. It always brought home really, really nice memories, just of good times when I would just be spacing out.
E6 and Lit and all the 90s bands and stuff.
Yeah, Green Day. Another.
Britney Spears was there for me.
I had Rush Limbaugh talking to me in the car. Because that's who my mom listened to on the radio.
Wow.
What'd you get for Christmas this year?
I got a mini fridge. I got some DVDs. I got the Coronado trilogy. which is...
So how does your history of liking food fuel your interest in refrigerators?
Direct correlation?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
What food led you to wanting to get a refrigerator for Christmas?
All the food I have to hide in my room that goes bad after 3 days. Yeah. It was a good Christmas. Got a charging phone case that I use right now.
Is it a Mophie? Looks like a Mophie.
So how much does that increase the battery life? Have you found that
it works pretty well.
Except for when the light's on fire.
Right now it's like at 50 or like 60 to 50 or like 40%. When it goes to red, a red light on the back, it is below like 30% charge.
So does it pull from that after the battery of the phone goes out, or does it pull from that first and then it...
I can decide when to use it.
Oh, okay.
So like right now it's not charging, and then I just hold the button down, and now it's charging.
Oh, cool. Are you bummed that you can't have any other phone cases though with it?
No, I like the phone case. It's nice. It kind
There's no
of
Psych or Batman on there.
it kind of weighs the phone down a little bit. It has kind of echoing speakers here, so it almost amplifies the sound.
Cool.
The other thing that's kind of bad about it is you need like a extender for your headphones to go in.
Well, so
That's nice though.
Bluetooth,
tell 'em
man.
about the headphones I got. Mick.
Oh yeah, I got headphones too for Christmas. Very nice. I don't know where they are.
You left them upstairs for the children to destroy.
Did they destroy them? They're nice gaming headphones with a detachable mic that comes down, which I like a lot.
Is it are they PlayStation brand? Or?
No, Ben got those. I got what brand?
The Turtle Beach.
Turtle Beach, which are pretty good brand. So,
I have like
So I'm the
3
only one
pairs
that
of
doesn't
Turtle Beach
have-
headphones.
well, you know, Jesse over there,
I have
the Lord
a
of headphones,
ton
could
of them.
probably give you one. You know,
I don't want to.
out of
It's mine.
good kind.
They're mine. I'm not. No. I'm just kidding.
I'm no charity case.
Oh, seriously, I'll just find a pair and give it to you.
I like the little one.
I
It's,
hate that.
Oh,
it
that's
hurts
so
my
It always
annoying.
pops
falls
out of
out.
my ear.
Yeah.
I love hearing everything in here because you can set the audio to all in
Yeah.
your ear, and so you can hear. So basically, your TV doesn't make any noise. You're just
I
hearing
like-
everything.
I like
I'll
hearing-
be around you, you screaming.
Yeah, like ah! You feel like you're talking like so loud. You're like what?
I like hearing the sound of the game from the television and then hearing the voice chat in the.
I wonder if you
in
can.
the headphones.
You can set your headphones to do
See,
that.
Can you?
With
So
mine-
you can do it. One has the audio from the TV, and the other has audio from people.
what mine
That would
does.
drive me crazy.
No,
Can you do that?
What
you can,
mine
you
does?
can do it so game audio and chat audio both come into. the
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying.
That's
Yeah.
what they do right now.
What mine does is it has a chat and sound button. If I click more on the chat button, I'll hear more voices than game. And if I click on the sound one, I'll hear more game than voices. But the voices never really stop in my head.
Is it just a button?
I turned the voices all the way down, but they're still yelling at me. Kill your family. What?
I moved away from them. You can't do that to me anymore.
Is it just a button, or is it like a turn knob deal?
It's a button.
Oh,
It's a crank, you know, like an old Ford. You gotta put it in there.
So you charge it.
No, I'm fine with the one that I have now.
I hate those.
I hate
they're
them
so
too.
they're so uncomfortable.
I felt like if
And you hear way better with like a good over the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
headset.
I can actually hear enemies like to my left and right.
I haven't had any issue hearing voice chat at all in there. I mean, I've been able to understand everyone.
Well, just the way it fits in your ear too. Like it's not like
It's
like
not
it's not like a
molded.
gummy or a iPhone
It's like a brick.
earbud where it like is kind of more formed to fit in an ear. It's just this
It's just-
round,
yeah, it's just a round
circle thing. That
It's
like when I put it in, it kind of pushes off to the back.
Yeah.
I'm like constantly
really
trying
uncomfortable.
to put it in there, yeah. Plus,
guess
I
just have-
feel way cooler when I have this huge thing on and then a mic coming down right here. I feel like I should be like piloting a plane or something.
I think maybe if I was playing a game,
standing by.
I think if I was playing a game that required more tactical communication,
Like Battlefront.
then I would probably be more. I'd probably be more inclined to use a headset like that. But
I think it's perfect for Battlefront, especially like a 6-on-6 game mode like cargo.
I think
it's worth it.
The thing is, we have enough people now that own the game that I really want them to come out with private matches so we can do private matches.
Why?
3v3 style?
Because then we can do 3v3
XP.
or we could do...
Why don't they?
They probably just ran out of time. This is my guess.
Time crunches.
They wanted to get the game out. I mean, what I'm hoping is that it's not something that is paid. But I'm really hoping that it's not something that they don't put in at all. It seems like that would be a grave error not to put it in. Although they've already got a ton of money, so it's not like they're needing to please people. But
at the same time, like the past two Battlefronts had,
did they
just they had like local play.
Well, they had
even the
land
bots
play
and
too,
like almost the story mode, like
and the Galactic Conquest.
Yeah,
but this is the first game, and this is one of the first times in my life that I've actually known a bunch of people that own a game. When you're growing up and your parents don't like video games, it's really hard to be like, okay, I knew one other person who had this game, but it was in 2003 when internet wasn't good, so we can't play online games. Even with Call of Duty, like I had a PlayStation 3 and we owned one copy of Modern Warfare 2. I knew one other person who had Modern Warfare 2, which was Jesse, and that was, we could play together.
Yep. When I was younger, I got an Xbox. That was my first Xbox when I was 8 years old.
Oh yeah.
So
How were you 8 when that when that was out?
I was like 8 or 9.
Insane.
Okay,
because it came out in 2005.
No, but that's not. I don't think that's when it came out either.
When you got
it for Christmas. Yeah, around there.
Did you get a new one?
No, it was probably used.
Okay.
But I got a game, 2 games with it. I got Jet Set Radio Future.
Woo!
You know what that one is, Jesse?
Awesome. I love that
good.
Game.
And then
awesome.
I got Time Splitters.
Oh,
Time
Splitters
awesome
was
one. I
bomb.
love that game.
Yeah.
And I was actually like listening to the soundtrack today at work.
Interesting.
So nerdy.
But that's like a memory.
Says the guy who listens to Christmas.
Yeah,
during
and it's just I was just saying like Time Splitter you didn't even need to have friends for that game.
You could make friends with yourself.
No, you didn't because the bots were so good.
The bots were freaking great. I loved that game.
But imagine how fun it would be to do a 4-on-4, all of people that you knew.
I was actually gonna say I want to get it. Like, would you guys play it with me?
What
if I got like for the GameCube, Time Splitters 2?
Do you have a GameCube?
Yeah, I do.
Well, we also have a Wii.
Oh yeah,
it's backwards compatible.
So
right.
yeah, we should totally, and we could play 4-player split screen.
Do you have 4
controllers?
Yeah,
I think so. They're kind of broken though.
I'll buy them.
I just got you a Smash Bros. Did you not get a Smash Bros thing, or am I thinking of
adapter?
Joseph?
The adapter.
No, I gave him the adapter.
Yeah, I have.
know
the
you have
adapter.
the adapter.
I don't have one of the
have
new
one of the
controllers. No, but we have a couple GameCube controllers, original GameCube controllers, but they're not in the best shape.
Yeah.
But no, I was still talking about Battlefront. Like, imagine playing.
I'm not done with Time Splitters.
Imagine playing 4v4 Battlefront. I think that would be so much fun. All with people you knew, having general chat so you can badmouth the other team as you're beating them terribly. But it's all people you know. Like,
you like competing with the people you know, Dave, don't you?
It's more fun to compete with people you know.
I don't think so.
Oh, I lost 48 Hour Asia, by the way.
Oh, you did?
I forgot to take my turn. And the problem is...
the casualties.
And you can come back once when you're an AI. However, if you are only left with all AIs, you win the game.
Yep.
Landon didn't take his turn either, so Colby was left as the only non-AI. And so he won the game. Now... he would not have won the game at all. Did I show you the map, or did I show Landon?
You didn't show me the map.
Okay, I need to show you the map, because it was, like, brutal. Like,
was I still in the end?
Yeah, you still had one, you still had, I think, 2 territories
so
left.
I'd been second place.
Landon only, I think, had 1 left, and you had 2 left or something, but you were basically coming up through the northern half of Japan and coming south, because I was sending troops up north. I'll show you the map when we're done recording. Okay. But Colby got a ton of points from that. I would have got a lot of points had I won that one. I'm really bummed I forgot to take my turn, but it's not.
Who was in the lead when you?
Me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was making almost 600 troops a turn, and Colby was making maybe 100. Something like that. But I just forgot to take my turn. I mean, like, yesterday we played Caverna, which is a game like Agricola. It's a game I got for Brianna for Christmas.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time playing that. And I didn't pick up WarLight at all yesterday, and so it totally slipped my mind.
Brandon's been playing that game constantly now, thanks to you.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime he's hanging out with me, he's like, hang on, I gotta take my turn to WarLight. Hang on, I gotta take my turn to WarLight.
You're like, man, they've infested everyone.
Ugh.
Spreading.
So you're not going to work tomorrow?
Mm-mm.
But why?
Because I'm taking a vacation day to go... Why are your eyes doing that? I'm taking a vacation day to go up to Mount Spokane with Brandon, Kelsey, my mom, and she's not technically she's like my second cousin.
She's your incarcerated cousin's daughter.
Yeah.
Incarnate.
And we're taking my niece, probably niecette, no?
Niecette.
I was going to say nieces, but...
Okay, so you're going tubing.
Yeah, we're going tubing tomorrow.
So you're going tubing with your family.
There was no, like, question about it either.
The last time I went to Mount Spokane, I was a wee lad. For lunch, I had the ham and Swiss with no mayonnaise. No extra mayonnaise.
But then the letters fell out of my sandwich.
I know I'm long-winded sometimes when I explain things.
No, it's okay, Jesse.
It adds for extra comedic effect.
Yeah, but then you guys like mock me for it.
No,
I
we're
feel
not
bad.
mocking you, Jesse.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking.
They
about
mocked
him.
Jesus, not you.
was Jonah the one that used that example? Yeah, I think we need to like talk about that at some point. I think what's the line from The Princess Bride? You use that word, and I don't think you know it. I don't think you
I
understand.
think mocking is you're making fun of, and you're copying what they say, and you're in a mocking
mocking
way.
is like very venomous.
It's basically it's like you're copying them.
See, my
and
mom
being
mocks me
mean
all the
about it.
time, though, so I just kind of like.
See, it'd
take
be
that
like me
and
saying,
use it.
"Yeah, my mom mocks me all the time." That'd be mocking.
Or that would be parroting, but whatever.
Parroting. Anyway, well, we lost Mick.
He's shaving.
His
taking
razor is
care of
probably
himself.
appearing on the microphone. Well, does anyone else have anything else to say? We don't have Landon tonight because he's
died.
having his wisdom teeth taken out.
Oh, really?
Yep. He's got craters in his mouth.
That was fun.
I told him he should still come anyway.
Yeah.
Did you get
because-
yours? Do you still have yours?
No, I got all my taken out. I did it, and I didn't want to go under because I've never been knocked out before,
Come to a land down
and I really don't ever want to if I don't have to. It kind of creeps me out, like the thought of being unconscious, not on your own accord,
and have the dentist fondle you.
I remember when I had it done, the guy they put an oxygen thing over my nose, and the guy was like, if you can count backwards from 100 and make it all the way to 0, or no, he's like, if you can count backwards from 10 and make it to 4, I'll do the operation for free. I made it to like 8, and then I was just gone.
Well,
you also count.
He was like 10, 9, 8, bam, and then I just I went to sleep in the doctor's office, and I woke up completely in a different room.
You know what you're supposed to do? Here's what you do.
Hold your breath.
No, you don't have to hold your breath. You just, when he says that, you don't breathe. 10, 9, 8, and you get all the way to 4. You just don't inhale. Because inhaling is what they don't force it into your lungs.
Oh yeah, you stay out. 10, 9.
No, you don't even need to do like that. Just don't inhale. Let's just don't breathe. That's all you need to do. Just don't go 10, 9. Like that's what people do. Man, he would have been... You know what would have happened, though, if you'd done that? You would have had to breathe at some point.
Yeah.
And you would have been like, oh, did it? And he would have been like, no, you only got to 8. Sorry, Jesse. You're confused. You're loopy. And you'd be like, I got to 4.
Take him away.
Yeah, take him away, boys. But when I did it...
Take me into an asylum.
I didn't want to be put under at all, so I just... there was like kind of 3 options. There was like totally under... half under and then just painkillers, and I was like, painkillers. So all they do is they just numb you, kind of like if you're getting like regular teeth pulled. Because I've had teeth.
Did it hurt?
No, you don't feel anything at all.
Okay.
Well, you feel things, but there's no pain.
I've had 2 root canals.
Yeah, because I've had, when I was younger, I had a lot of teeth pulled from the dentist because we couldn't get them out myself. So I'd go to the dentist to get them pulled. And so it's kind of the same. I mean, there's a lot more they put in because they're doing a lot of it's kind of like taking tiny little knives and just like cutting away
I've
at
seen
your
like a video
gums
clip of it,
and like
it's disgusting.
Yeah. But it was really interesting because being awake for the whole process, it actually doesn't take very long. And what they do is they don't pull out the teeth in one bit. They basically like kind of hammer and chisel them out, and then you see them taking bits of teeth out of their mouth. It was really interesting to be awake for that and to be completely sane. I mean, like I wasn't loopy at all because I didn't have that. But my dad insisted that Brandon, Jesse's brother, go with me to it because he was afraid that I wouldn't be able to drive home. And I kept explaining to him. I said, "No, I'm not. They're not putting me under. I'm just getting pain. That they're just numbing me. That's it." So I came out
afterward.
Not really. I mean, they gave me narcotics to take, but I didn't want to take them, so I just took like ibuprofen, just something a little bit. But there wasn't that much pain. The only issue I had is that they left part of one tooth in there, so like it like grew out of my gum, and like months later, I could reach in and pull it out, and I pulled it out. It was just like a little tiny bit of a tooth.
I had the same thing.
Yeah,
I felt a little chunk, and I
think that's
playing with it with my tongue, and finally I could pull it out. I thought it was like a piece of food that got lodged in my gum. But
and you're like, there's a piece of tooth.
It's a chunk of tooth that they missed.
I think that's very common for people that happens to, especially for a procedure like that where there's lots of small pieces and it's hard to get all of them. And the way your gums work in your body is, you expel things. I mean, was it Gus talking on Rooster Teeth about getting in the car crash?
In the car crash?
Maybe that was a different podcast.
It's probably a different podcast.
But someone got in a car crash when they were younger, and they kept having bits of glass in their forehead that they would pull out because as time went on, it would come out of their forehead.
No, I heard a story like that where someone like got a piece of glass shoved to their hand, and it was
nice trying, you guys.
Oh, bye, Mike.
Bye.
Bye, Mike.
Bye, Internet.
Bye, Hitler.
No, it's like a Civil War mustache.
I prefer Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
Chaplin.
Of course, I'm talking about someone else.
With another similar mustache, okay.
That's not even anywhere similar to Charlie.
So the glass just went all the way through their hand to the other side, and it came out that side.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
But when I finished the procedure, I came out, and Brandon was like, "Oh, it took forever." and he was like, "Do you want me to drive?" And I was like, "Nope." I had all this gauze in my mouth.
Brandon.
So he came with me to the dentist because I drove there.
Yeah.
Or not the dentist, the dental surgeon. And then he sat there and waited, and then I came out and drove back. So he just came with me.
He was moral support, dude.
Well, no, not really, because he complained. That's a Bic for you, just a bunch of complainers. I didn't get this present.
I got all the presents I asked for, which is like, shut up! I didn't ask
the point we were going. You just helped our case.
I actually got everything I wanted.
So I didn't have to complain.
Yeah, so I don't have to complain.
Well,
not like you plebeians, you poor people.
The way we did Christmas this year was weird because usually I only ask for one thing every year, just because that was like a theme for me. But this year my mom was like, just go make an Amazon wish list and put stuff on it. So I was trying to like figure out what I wanted, and I was like, well, I'm gonna end up buying all this stuff anyway, so I'll just put it there and so I ended up getting stuff that I was actually gonna buy myself for Christmas.
See, the problem is she spoiled you too much, and she needed to not get everything on the list. That way, there's a little bit of uncertainty of what you're going to get. But when you can look at your Amazon list and then look at your pile of gifts and go, huh, there's a match for everything, and it's all about the same size and shape, well, there's no surprise. Like, it's kind of fun to have a little bit of a... Like, I love surprises at Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing that's hard with my mom, because my mom, she'll be like, what do you want for Christmas, David? And I'll be like, I want this, this, and this. And she's like, okay, pick one of them and buy them for you, and I'll pay you back. It's like...
Thanks, Mom.
I don't want to do that. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But... Okay. Anyway, well, that was tonight.
Yep.
Episode 4.
All right. Signing off. This has been Jesse.
David. And Michael was here, but he left, and Landon wasn't here. And we're never having Brandon back because he was a terrible guest. Okay.
All right.
That's the end.